Today, guys, we are doing Premier League predictions. We're on the Premier League website. They've got a league table predictor. Apparently, we've got a chance to win a signed shirt. So let's see how it goes. And it's just a drag and a drop system, but I'm going to speak about each team. And I'm going to start with who I have finishing in 20th place. Guys, be sure to leave your comments, your predictions in the comments below. But for me, it's going to be Sunderland. Sunderland finishing last. I thought they were lucky to get promoted in the first place. They pretty much bought a new team as well. And I don't know, that doesn't usually work out to be amazing in the Premier League. Could see an early sacking of Labrie, because Sunderland fans, you can let me know as well, but pretty sure they wanted him out prior to the promotion. And obviously, they did sign Granit Xhaka, quality midfielder, but I don't see him being enough to keep them up. So I'm going with Sunderland in at 20, and thankfully, the team that I have 19th are there already. It is Wolves. Wolves are going to finish 19th. Lost their two best players, Cunha and Ait Nouri, and again, I can probably see another early sacking. They started last season off really slow. Can imagine the same could happen. Do have a different manager this time, but I don't see them making up the points and seeing them getting relegated. Now, this could change based on transfers and stuff, but as things currently stand, I'd say Wolves are good to go down. And this one might be a surprise as I scroll up to find them. I'm going Brentford. Now, one thing Brentford do have is a lot of experience, but they lost their manager, they lost their captain, they lost their goalkeeper. They did sign Kelleher, which is really good. They lost their best player in Mbeumo as well. And I don't know, that's a lot of loss. Now, they have brought in, I think, Jordan Henderson, loads of experience, but is that going to be enough to keep them up? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's going to take a big effort from the likes of Damsgaard, Kevin Schade, and we're also probably, they need to keep Wissa, and he could go to Newcastle. So that is my prediction. Next up, I'm going Burnley. I'm going to say Burnley survive. To be fair, I think Sunderland definitely go down, but Wolves, Brentford, Burnley, probably the next two as well that I add, could all be in and around the mix. But yeah, Burnley, they brought in some good experience, good mix of youth and Prem experience, like the Kyle Walker signing. But again, I think it might just be enough. Whereas I think majority of this comes from me not wanting to relegate the teams that just got promoted like it's been the last 2 years. So a bit optimistic, but I'd say the same goes for Leeds as well. Done decent business, but I don't know, Leeds finishing 16th, that would be something. But that's the order I'm going with. Let me know who you have relegated. Now, it's actually in the right order now. West Ham are my 15th place side. I can see them struggling. Definitely can see them struggling. Graham Potter, I'm not sold on him as a manager, but I do believe in the quality of Jared Bowen up front, and I think that will be enough to keep them up. So I'm going to have them 15th, maybe a little bit of a gap between the bottom five here, but they are my 15th place squad. Next up is Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth, I'm going with them in at 14th. They lost a lot, didn't they? Lost their keeper, lost their defense. The reason why I haven't put them lower is they managed to keep the likes of Semenyo. I believe in Dango Ouattara. I think he's quality. And also, like Evan Nilsson and the other striker now, if once he's fit, like it's okay. And I also like their signings. Diakite at centre back, really good. Truffert as well, solid left back, and then Petrovic, solid keeper. A lot of Ligue 1 actually. They sent their scouts to the Ligue 1, but I think they'll be in around 14th, which brings me to 13th place, a team that hasn't done much. Not much has changed at Fulham, to be fair. They got a good manager, they got a good team. I think mid-table is about right for them. They haven't lost much, they haven't gained much, so not much to say about Fulham. Next up, we are going 12th place, and we're going with the team in Europe. Crystal Palace just won the Community Shield as well. I mean, 12th, I think, feels about right. I think between maybe 12th and 14th for them, but I think they'll struggle being in Europe. They could lose Eze and Gehi as well. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Could possibly be lower. Depends how they end up replacing those players. Next, another team that done well last year, but I think are gonna struggle again with Europe. They lost Elanga. They replaced him with Dan Ndoye. I think that's a pretty sideways move. I don't think Dan Ndoye is much worse than Elanga. I don't think Elanga's much better than a Dan Ndoye. So that's that situation. They still managed to keep their defense, which is why I've got them a bit higher up in the table. I feel like if they didn't have the likes of, if they had lost Murillo or Milenkovic, they could perhaps even drop to like 15th, 16th. But I feel like 11th is suitable. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's get into our top 10. And you may be wondering, why hasn't Everton been mentioned yet? Well, they're coming here in 10th place. I like their signings. I think they picked up some experience. They brought in Jack Grealish. I really like Njai. I feel like striker is a bit iffy, not sold on Beto. They brought in Barry as well, who he's got potential, but not sure if he can lead the line just yet. And then right mid is going to be either McNeil. Maybe they'll bring in Tyler Dibbling as well. I like their midfield options. James Garner. They brought in Dewsbury Hall. The defense is pretty solid as well. It's just that I think, and I believe in David Moyes. I think that's what carries them to 10th. I think they'll have a surprisingly good season. So Everton in 10th. That's probably my most out there prediction so far, but there may be some more. The next one I think is a bit of a staple now for a mid-table team, I should say. That's Brighton. Young manager, young team, mixture of experience and youth. They've always got good players waiting in the wings. I think it does depend on Baleba staying for them to finish 9th, but I think that's a logical place to put them. And if they do lose Baleba, maybe they drop down to about 12th, but I can't see them finishing far behind 12th place. And I think 9th is about right, knocking on the door for Europe. And next team is actually in order, so that's really good. Spurs. I've got Spurs finishing 8th. Yesterday, we saw them against PSG. They look pretty good. I think they do suit that sort of three-back formation they played. They'll probably, as Thomas Frank did at Brentford, they'll probably interchange depending on the opponent they're up against. But one thing that struck me with Tottenham is going forward, they lack creativity. With Maddison and Kulusevski out, still haven't signed a player yet to play in that number 10. Will it be Eze? Will they get Savinho? Lots of question marks around Spurs still. So I think I'm going to have them in an 8th because I just feel like the teams above are a little bit better. And it's still in order. Newcastle at 7th. I see them taking a step back. They've had a rotten summer. Feel sorry for Newcastle fans. They're going to have to balance the UCL and the Prem with a pretty thin squad. They did just buy, was it Jacob Ramsey? I mean, it's not a world beater. Not going to light up the world. Obviously, the Isak situation is still going on. So they could drop even further if Isak goes to Liverpool. I think I'm being generous with a 7th place finish. Maybe they'll finish higher, but I don't see it. Other than they've got a good midfield three. A very good midfield three. But I think the problem is if they get an injury, who slots in? I think there's too many positions where if they get an injury, it's just not looking good for them. So I've got them in at 7th. 6th place, I have gone with Aston Villa. So you're thinking, why are Man United so high? Well, we'll talk about that in a bit. But Aston Villa, I think for the most part, a lot stayed the same. They had the threat of some of their bigger players leaving, like Emi Martinez, Ollie Watkins, even Morgan Rogers. All of them have stayed. And they brought in Gassond. They let Ramsey go. Obviously, their loan players that did help them out quite a bit last season have gone. So the likes of Asensio, Rashford, I guess Disasi. But for the most part, I think Aston Villa, they've stayed the same. I believe in Unai Emery as well as a good manager. And I haven't put them too high. They're 6th. I think that's about right for Aston Villa. Now, 5th, the team I support, the team I love dearly, Manchester United. I'm backing us to bounce back. Now, last season was atrocious. We did focus a bit on Europe, had to juggle that. A few injuries here and there. So I'm hoping this season we just go into the season with a clean bill of health for the most part. Obviously, Lisandro Martinez is still out. But I I feel like the system is becoming a bit more natural to the players. They know the positions they need to be in. I think we suffered from a lot of individual errors last year, and we didn't have the quality up front to make up for them. Now we've got the quality up front. Maybe the errors will still be there. I still think we need a goalkeeper and a centre mid, but I think that should be enough to have us 5th. Maybe we'll finish 6th, but top 5, I think I can see us finishing in the top 5. Now for 4th place, I've gone with the world champs. With inverted commas, right? Chelsea, really good side, really exciting attack and midfield. Defensively though, and goalkeeper, I'm not sold. Rob Sanchez had a good game, and he managed to keep it. It's like he was fighting for his job, and fair play to him. It seems like he's won that fight. Now Donnarumma's available. I don't know if Chelsea fancy paying him like 300k a week, but if they do, then maybe they go up to maybe 2nd. But I think Chelsea lock for top 4, and Cole Palmer, amazing player. I still think I'm a bit questionable about Pedro and Delap over a season. I feel like the team's very young, but 4th place I think is about right now. The front 3, we could, the top 3, sorry, we could probably go any of these, because it's an interesting one. But for my predictions, for the sake of this video, I've actually gone with Liverpool 3rd. Yeah. Now, I don't know, just something in my gut. Maybe it's because I'm a United fan and I don't want it to happen, but I just don't see them doing back-to-back titles. Now, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see them win the UCL, but this is Premier League predictions. So I'm going to say they're going to take a step back. They've brought in a lot of new faces, and sometimes when you do that after winning a league, it doesn't necessarily go amazing. And even though some people have said they'll go off to a slow start, I actually think they'll get off to a fast start. But I think when UCL comes around, the latter stages, they'll start to focus on that. They'll drop a few points, and I've got them finishing 3rd. Now, I've actually gone for Arsenal to win the league. Yeah, crazy. A lot of people have said they're going to drop off, and in my opinion, looking at the side, they've actually got better. Now, last year, pretty early on, Odegaard goes down, gets injured. A bit later on, Saka gets injured, Havertz gets injured. That isn't so, like, if they do get injured, fair enough, it is a bit of a drop-off, but I feel like they've got better backups now. Ethan Nwaneri, probably not naturally a right winger, probably better off in the 10. They've now signed Madueke to back up Saka. They've signed Zubimendi, who adds a lot of quality to their midfield. And obviously the big one, they've been crying out for a striker, guys. They signed the guy that scored the most goals in Europe. Now, albeit it was in Portugal, but he's definitely a goal threat, and he's definitely better than an injured Havertz or a Mikel Merino, right? I think he's going to score at least 15 goals, at least. And then by default, that does mean Man City finishing 2nd. Pep, he always does tend to bounce back. I feel like 2nd would be a good bounce back. I think I do have to caveat this though. If Liverpool get Isak, Liverpool go 1st. If Man City sign Rodrigo, Man City probably go 1st. I think there's still a bit of business left to do. But Man City, I think the main concern with me with Man City is the questions around Rodri and his fitness. I think Reinders is a great signing. He's going to be one, which, remember I said this, he's going to get some goals and assists. He pops up late into the box, late runs, arrives late, and he gets goals and assists. So I think he's going to be good. We're going to see the same from Haaland. They're going to create loads of chances, score loads of goals. This Man City is Pep Guardiola. But I've backed Arsenal to win the league, which doesn't sit right with me, but it's a bit out there. Guys, let me know your Premier League predictions. Leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you again in the next one.